DEFCON 3 here, and I'm KT McFarland. Joining me from Washington is one of the leading women diplomats in the entire Arab world. She is the Minister Delegate of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation of Morocco, and her name is Mbarka Boyada. Thank you so much for joining us, Madam Minister.
You're welcome, Katie. Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, the King of Morocco is, the young King of Morocco is coming to visit President Obama this week. What is the purpose of his visit?
Well, the visit of the Kings of Morocco, His Majesty Mohammed VI, to President Barack Obama came to strengthen first the special and long-standing relationship we have with USA, and second, to find new ways of cooperation, especially in terms of politics, security, social and economic and cultural spheres.
One of the things as we look at the Middle East, we can hardly talk about the entire region of the Middle East without talking about the Arab Spring. Whether it started, in North Africa, it moved to the Levant, to the Persian Gulf region. How has Morocco weathered the forces of the Arab Spring in the last 2 years?
Well, of course, Morocco has been impacted by Arab Spring, but there is a huge difference between Morocco and other countries. Morocco have started its reforms a decade ago. First. Second, we have a very strong sense of nation for centuries. Third is that this voluntarist approach to start the reforms, not only political reforms, but also social and economic reforms that we have started, allowed us to get more plurality and more equity and reconciliation within Moroccan society. And that's why we're talking about Morocco as a model in the region, and that's why Morocco have very strong stability and security in the region.
One of the things that struck me is that Morocco has a very large youth population. You also have a very young king, and as you pointed out, for the last decade, he's been pushing for a more inclusive government, for political reforms. How do you think that looks to the rest of the Muslim world as they look at Morocco, a young leader, a popular young leader, a young population? What secrets really does Morocco have that the rest of the Arab world could take advantage of?
Well, we have very great relationship with the Arab world and also with African countries. We are seen as a model in the Arab world, as a monarchy that it has stand all its values and shared values with the population for years and centuries. And the king is very close to the population. And one of the reasons why we have started also these reforms is his proximity to the population and the fact that he invested a lot on closest policies and social policies.
When you look at the headlines of the day, the United States is meeting in Geneva with European countries, China, Russia, and most importantly Iran, to negotiate a nuclear agreement with Iran over Iran's nuclear weapons program. Now, Morocco is not a nuclear weapons country. It has never had any designs. But how do you look at, from your end of the Arab world, how do you look at the potential agreement between Iran and the United States?
Well, we have always been supporting a political dialogue and political negotiation, and we're happy to see that this nuclear agreement is based on this political dialogue and negotiations. We also call America and Europe to maintain the information process and communication process with all the other allies, and especially Arab allies in the region, to maintain them informed about this agreement.
Well, some of the Arab countries seem to be lining up on the other side of the issue, though. We've seen in recent days cooperation between the Israelis and the Saudis. Whoever would have thought that would happen? The Saudis have said if Iran is allowed to get nuclear weapons, or looks like it's going to be almost a nuclear weapon state, that Saudi Arabia would look for nuclear weapons of its own. Other countries in the Persian Gulf region, Sunni countries, have looked at the rise of Iran not just as a nuclear power, but the political power that nuclear weapons might give Iran. So where is Morocco in all of this potential Shiite-Sunni divide that may engulf the Middle East?
Well, Morocco has a Malikite Islamic current, which is a Sunnite Islamic current and very moderated Sunnite Islamic current. And we believe that by maintaining our Sunnite religious system, let's say, which is shared by 99, even 100% of Moroccan populations, and based on the Malikite rhythm, can be one of the biggest answer and response to all sorts of extremism all over the world. And that's what we're trying also to promote, not only in Morocco, but in the whole region, through a lot of religious trainings that we offer to other countries, such as what we just have done such as what Morocco just have done in Mali, for example.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you look to your south, you have Mali, and you have political unrest in Mali. You look to your east, you see Libya, you see Egypt. You look throughout the region, and Morocco seems to be the one island in stability. But how does the instability in those other countries affect you? Do you worry about it spilling over into the spilling over the borders into Morocco?
Well, we have secured our country years ago because Morocco have been aware of the security threat in the region for more than 10 years, and we have adopted a multidimensional security approach based first on human and social development, because we believe that one of the main reasons why we go to extremism is the human development and the human being situation in general. And the second approach of our security strategy is based on reforms, not only political reform, but also strengthen all our institutions through very deep reforms, such as judiciary reform and social reforms in general.
You know, I can't help but ask you, as one woman to another, I've been in the foreign policy field, sort of breaking records and paving, you know, as a pioneer when I started 40 years ago. I look at you as a relatively young woman in a very responsible position in a part of the world where we don't think that women have those kind of opportunities. You must be a role model for other women throughout the Arab world. How does that, weigh on your shoulders as a woman that so many others are looking up to?
Well, we have done in Morocco we have made a lot of efforts to emancipate women and to enhance women participation, especially in politics. And through the recent constitution, we have voted an equity principle. And this is one of the reasons why there is a new generation now in politics, and new women who go every day more to politics. And I think that we should all work together to enhance the role of women and to empower women in politics in general, because this is the only way also to maintain and to guarantee social development within our society and to fight against any sort of extremism.
Well, you're just a terrific role model, not only for women in the Middle East, but for women all over the world. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Mberka Bouyada, she is the Moroccan Minister Delegate of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation, and she is in Washington with King Mohammed of Morocco and helping him prepare for his meetings with President Obama this week. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you, Katie.
That's it for DEF CON 3. Thanks again for joining us.